Biden is headed to Michigan to join the UAW picket line. Washington, AP, President Joe Biden's decision to stand alongside United Auto Workers picketers Tuesday on the 12th day of their strike against major carmakers underscores an allegiance to labor unions that appears to be unparalleled in presidential history. Experts in presidential and U.S. labor history say they cannot recall an instance where a sitting president has joined an ongoing strike, even during the tenures of the more ardent pro-union presidents such as Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Harry Truman. Theodore Roosevelt invited labor leaders alongside mine operators to the White House amid a historic coal strike in 1902, a decision that was seen at the time as a rare embrace of unions as Roosevelt tried to resolve the dispute. Lawmakers often appear at strikes to show solidarity with unions, and during his 2020 Democratic primary campaign, Biden and other presidential hopefuls joined a picket line of hundreds of casino workers in Las Vegas who were pushing for a contract with the Palms Casino Resort. But sitting presidents, who have to balance the rights of workers with disruptions to the economy, supply chains and other facets of everyday life, have long wanted to stay out of the strike fray, until Biden. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. This is absolutely unprecedented. No president has ever walked a picket line before, said Eric Loomis, a professor at the University of Rhode Island and an expert on U.S. labor history. Presidents historically avoided direct participation in strikes. They saw themselves more as mediators. They did not see it as their place to directly intervene in a strike or in labor action. Biden's trip to join a picket line in the suburbs of Detroit is the most significant demonstration of his pro-union bona fides, a record that includes vocal support for unionization efforts at Amazon.com facilities and executive actions that promoted worker organizing. He also earned a joint endorsement of the major unions earlier this year and has avoided Southern California for high-dollar fundraisers amid the writers and actors strikes in Hollywood. United Auto Workers members walk the picket line at the Ford, Michigan assembly plant in Wayne, Mich. Monday, September 18, 2023. AP photo, Paul Sancia. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. During the ongoing UAW strike, Biden has argued that the auto companies have not yet gone far enough to satisfy the union, although White House officials have repeatedly declined to say whether the president endorses specific UAW demands such as a 40% hike in wages and full-time pay for a 32-hour workweek. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. I think the UAW gave up an incredible amount back when the automobile industry was going under. They gave everything from their pensions on, and they saved the automobile industry, Biden said Monday from the White House. He stressed that the workers should benefit from the carmakers' riches, now that the industry is roaring back. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. Biden and other Democrats are more aggressively touting the president's pro-labor credentials at a time when former President Donald Trump is trying to chip away at union support in critical swing states where the constituency remains influential, including Michigan and Pennsylvania. Biden is also leaning in on his union support at a time when labor enjoys broad support from the public, with 67% of Americans approving of labor unions in an August Gallup poll. Instead of participating in the second Republican primary debate on Wednesday, Trump will head to Michigan to meet with striking auto workers, seeking to capitalize on discontent over the state of the economy and anger over the Biden administration's push for more electric vehicles, a key component of its clean energy agenda. If it wasn't for President Trump, Joe Biden would be giving auto workers the East Palestine treatment and saying that his schedule was too busy, said Trump campaign advisor Jason Miller, referring to the small Ohio town that is still grappling with the aftermath of a February train derailment. Biden said he would visit the community but so far has not. White House officials dismissed the notion that Trump forced their hand and noted that Biden was headed to Michigan at the request of UAW President Shawn Fain, who last week invited the sitting president to join the strikers. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. He is pro-UAW. He is pro-workers. That is this president, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said Monday. He stands by union workers, and he is going to stand with the men and women of the UAW. Yet the UAW strike, which expanded into 20 states last week, remains a dilemma for the Biden administration since a part of the workers' grievances include concerns about a broader transition to electric vehicles. The shift away from gas-powered vehicles has worried some auto workers because electric versions require fewer people to manufacture and there is no guarantee that factories that produce them will be unionized. Carolyn Nippa, who was walking the picket line Monday at the GM Parts warehouse in Van Buren Township, Michigan, was ambivalent about the president's advocacy for electric vehicles, even as she said Biden was a better president than Trump for workers. She said it was great that we have a president who wants to support local unions and the working class. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than, I know it's the future. It's the future of the car industry, Nipa said. I'm hoping it doesn't affect our jobs. Still, other picketers remained more skeptical about Biden's visit Tuesday. Dave Ellis, who stocks parts at the distribution center, said he's happy Biden wants to show people he's behind the middle class. But he said the visit is just about getting more votes. I don't necessarily believe that it's really about us, said Ellis, who argued that Trump would be a better president for the middle class than Biden because Trump is a businessman. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than the Biden administration has no formal role in the negotiations, and the White House pulled back a decision from the president earlier this month to send 2 key deputies to Michigan after determining it would be more productive for the advisors, Gene Sperling and Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su, to monitor talks from Washington. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than Krisher reported from Van Buren Township, Michigan. Associated Press writer Jill Colvin in Summerville, South Carolina, contributed to this report. File, United Auto Workers members and supporters picket outside a General Motors facility in Langhorne, PA. Friday, September 22, 2023. The United Auto Workers expanded its strike against major automakers Friday, walking out of 38 General Motors and Stellantis parts distribution centers in 20 states. AP photo, Matt Rourke, file. President Joe Biden pauses after answering a question about the auto workers' strike as he speaks in the Roosevelt Room of the White House in Washington, Monday, September 25, 2023. AP photo, Susan Walsh, file. Eric Thomas, who works at the Belvedere Assembly Plant, pickets with other members of the United Auto Workers outside the Chrysler Parts Distribution Plant Friday, September 22, 2023, in Naperville, Illinois. I thought these would be my golden years, he said. But here we are. The United Auto Workers Union expanded its strike against major carmakers Friday, walking out of 38 General Motors and Stellantis parts distribution centers in 20 states. AP photo, Aaron Hooley, file. UAW union members picket on the street in front of a Stellantis distribution center, Monday, September 25, 2023, in Carrollton, Texas. AP photo, Tony Gutierrez, file.